YouTube, what's going on? Today we're going to be looking at one of my favourite pieces of airsoft gear, the Delta Mic Face Pro. Now, before we go ahead and take a look at the Delta Mic Face Pro, I just want to make a quick disclaimer and say that although I do have a partnership with Delta Mic, I just want to make it clear that this is not a paid promotion. I do not get any form of financial gain from anyone who uses my discount code to buy the Delta Mic. I don't get any commission, no payments per sales, nothing like that. The only reason why I'm even promoting Delta Mic is because I've got 100% confidence in their products and I can vouch for it myself. You know, I've been using their products long before we've even partnered up. But yeah, I just want to make it clear that it's going to be entirely unbiased. All my thoughts that I'm going to be talking about today are entirely from my own experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. So now that that's out of the way, what is the Delta Mic Face Pro? Well, the Delta Mic Face Pro offers a low profile, market leading protective snood for airsoft. At the moment, there are two generations of Delta Mic Face Pro. We've got the Mark 1 over here and the Mark 2 over here. So I've got them both in tactical black, and we're going to go through the differences between the two in a bit more detail later. So both generations of Delta Mic Face Pro are handmade from a very, very breathable, quick drying mesh, as you can see here. This is really, really good as it significantly reduces fogging. Before I had the Delta Mic, I used to wear the traditional kind of mesh face protection and a balaclava underneath it, and that used to fog up really, really bad. But as the Delta Mic has a really breathable mesh, it really, really reduces the amount of fogging there is. Obviously, there's always going to be fogging if you've got any form of fabric over your mouth, especially in more humid conditions, but it does significantly reduces the fog. You can see just how breathable it is just by looking at the mesh. Both generations of Delta Mic Face Pro has a stainless steel mesh over the mouth area to protect your teeth and your lips, as you can see here. Both has been tested to withstand up to 500 FPS, which is the UK limits. Although the metal mesh is really, really solid, it can be shaped to the contour of your face. So to really, really keep that low profile, as you can see here. Around the back for the Delta Mic snood, you can see there's a little retention cord around the back, so this will really help keep the snood up in place so it doesn't slide down. Delta Mic has a wide variety of different camos and colours as well. As you can see here, I've got the dark woodland Mark II, I've got the OD green Mark 1. But yeah, they've got a wide variety of different camos on their website to really cater for any kind of loader out there that you might want or have. The look really, really does sell it for me. If you're going for a particular kind of loadout and it involves a snood and you still want to protect your teeth, these are absolutely perfect for you. So what are the main differences between the Mark 1 and the Mark 2? Well, the Mark 1 has more of a smaller and more lower profile stainless steel mesh to protect your mouth, as you can see here. It covers around a square of my mouth area, whereas Mark II has a much larger front profile. And to be honest, I feel like it covers the majority of your front profile. And if you turn over the Mark II, you can see that there is a very, very soft, comfortable padding all the way around the border of the stainless steel mesh. Now, obviously, this plays a big part in making the snood very, very comfortable. And if you look very closely as well, you can see there's a bit of a gap between the outer edge of the padding and where the mesh actually sits. So there's a small gap between your lips and the mesh itself. So this way, it allows you to breathe and speak a lot easier, which I thought was a really, really nice touch. But with that being said, that's not me saying that the Mark 1 isn't comfortable, because it still is. Although it doesn't have the thick padding on the border, it still has a lower profile foam around the border of the mesh. So it still isn't direct contact between your mouth and the mesh. It's still very, very comfortable and breathable and still easy to speak. It's just not to the extent of the Mark II. So you can kind of see the size difference between the mesh and the padding around the Mark 1 and the Mark II here. Now, with all that being said, that's not me saying that the Mark II is superior to the Mark 1. That's not necessarily the case at all. The Mark II is the newer version. This was only released, I believe, I think the pre-orders were only just being dispatched around, I'd say, mid-January time. and obviously the Mark 1 has been out for a couple of years now. But yeah, it's not to say that the Mark 2 is superior to the Mark 1. It just depends on the profile and the style that you personally like. I've had some friends who've seen both the Mark 1 and the Mark 2 and still opt for the Mark 1 purely from the lower profile that you get from the Mark 1. Because obviously the Mark 2, because it's more protective, due to the bigger padding and the bigger mesh, it does give a much bigger front face profile as well. So yeah, like I said, it's not to say that the Mark 2 is more superior. It's just a matter of personal preference at the end of the day. They both do what they're supposed to do, which is protect your mouth. Now, as for potential cons of the Delta Mic Face Pro, because of the nature of the Face Pro itself, it's a snood. It's not necessarily a full face mask, so it does mean that your side profiles are still relatively exposed. And depending on how you wear your mask, your nose can be a bit exposed as well. Although some people do tend to ride up a bit higher and still find that the lower area of the mesh still protects your teeth. It's a compromise that you're going to have to decide whether you want to make, if you want to go for a face mask like this. For me personally, I really do like the style of it, and I'm willing to go with that compromise of perhaps leaving my upper nose and side profile a bit exposed for the sake of a more comfortable face protection, more breathable, less fogging, and it just looks better. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Airsoft is a fashion show. Let's be honest, whether you want to do it or not, you want to look good out there. This is what it is. Another reservation that you may have is the lead time. And what I mean by the lead time is the time between you place your order and the time you actually receive your order. And the reason why is because at the moment there is a lead time of a couple of weeks. It depends on the demand of the Delta Mic Face Pro when you make your order. And the reason why it takes that long is because these are all handmade to order. It's a bit of a double-edged sword because although you're waiting a bit longer than your average retailer for this product, you know, there is no compromise on the quality. You know, the stitching is really good quality, and I think that just shows because, you know, I've had this for so long, absolutely battered the Mark 1, and it's still in excellent condition. Now, if you're not new to this style of face protection, you might have come across other brands that offer similar products. But there's a number of reasons why I personally chose Delta Mic over the other brands. You know, they're market leading for a reason, and they have been for a while now. For me personally, I really love the seamless style of the Delta Mic. I've seen some of the other similar brands that offer a similar product, and what I found was it's really obvious where the metal mesh is, whereas the Delta Mic itself, it looks like one piece of fabric. It's hardly noticeable that there's mesh inside it. If you didn't know any better, it just looks like an ordinary snood. Now, another reason why I chose the Delta Mic Face Pro over the other brands is more for the company itself. I've been speaking closely with Dan, who is the founder of Delta Mic, and we've been talking about the different stages that the Delta Mic has been through. And what I've gathered from the conversations that we've been having is that, you know, he's always pushing Delta Mic to continue to develop and improve their products. So, for example, back in the day when I first got the Mark 1, the steel mesh over the mouth wasn't powder coated, and since the launch of the Mark 2, all stainless steel mesh going forward on both Mark 1s and Mark 2 will be powder coated. And another good example is they're finding ways to move from polyester to nylon instead, which is a little bit thicker and more comfortable. It kind of shows that once they've stepped into the direction of improvement, development, you know, they're always willing to take that step up further. But yeah, I hope you guys did find this useful. I hope it's given you a bit more of a better insight as to what Delta Mic is like, what their products are like, what the company's like compared to the competitors. If you're interested in Delta Mic, I have a link to their website in the description below. They do ship worldwide, and the discount code that I was talking about at the start of the video is JAGAirsoft10. You'll get 10% off your order. And like I said, I get no financial gain, no commission whatsoever. This is just me pushing this out to you guys because I believe in their products, and that's literally it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found it useful. If you've been wearing Delta Mic as well, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your feedback on the Delta Mic as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next one.